I fell asleep bobbing.
Me, Byron, and Oakley have been enslaved by robots. Dance for your dinner, monkeys.
Houston, we have a problem.
Crazy parents, crazy life. That's why you listen to me!
Oh, wait a minute, let me change my icon.
And guess what, fuckface?
Hit it, Bobs. Who may not know what that sound is, it's actually Bob Dylan.
We're covering Bob Dylan.
Byram, did you get a haircut?
No, I fucked up this morning and didn't leave on time to do this podcast, so I literally rushed out, and I don't have anything in my hair. It usually takes me like a good 5 minutes to do my hair.
I believe it's worth noting to our audience member that we do this podcast at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that to me is like ungodly early, so just appreciate the dedication that we're showing here.
It's fucking commitment.
It's total
It's just
commitment.
our podcast listener doesn't fucking wake up until 10 a.m., but the beauty of it is...
Just wake up until 11D blue.
Yeah. Speaking of her, she sends me a fucking text message last night at 11:45 p.m. I'm fucking 32 years old. I'm exhausted. I went to bed at like 9.
That is
So
way too late.
I was like, fuck this bitch. At 6:30, I responded. 6:30 a.m. I was like, I hope this shit wakes her up.
It did.
Have I done the rant about going to bed when it's still light out?
No.
Amy and I go to bed when it's still light out. And I will not stop complaining about this fact.
No.
Because we get up, because we have to leave the house at like before 5, and we get up at like 4:30. It makes sense to go to bed at like 8:45 or so.
Yeah.
But it's fucking daytime out at 8:45.
Yeah.
When you go to bed that early, like, do you feel like does your mind get tricked into thinking you're going on a nap, to taking a nap? Like,
My
I would
mind
imagine
gets
waking up a half
tricked
hour later.
My mind gets tricked into thinking I'm going to bed in the fucking daytime and complaining to my wife about it, who tells me to shut up and go to sleep.
I mean, you guys are looking for an affordable place to live. Maybe try Alaska, land of the midnight sun. It's
that's
light
true.
all the time there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. If you move there, I'll fucking kill you and myself.
I don't think Amy would agree to Alaska.
Yeah, I don't think she would agree to Alaska. She doesn't love the winter.
I think Alaska sounds very romantic, but it's really mostly either frozen wasteland, mud, or flies.
Yeah.
I mean, at the risk of turning away fans, I would never go to Alaska because I don't find Alaskan people very attractive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair point. I actually don't know any Alaskans.
Me neither.
I think one of the... Go ahead, man.
Well, no, I was just going to go on a rant about how I always go to bed way too late. And no matter how many panic attacks, when I look at the clock and it's like 11:01, 11:02, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to be in bed 15 minutes ago. I have to be in bed half an hour ago. I have to be in bed 45 minutes ago. I still stay up too late.
Which is what I would do if I didn't have the warden.
I do the same thing, but like, don't you guys ever deal with like you're tired and you just like you can't motivate to get up and go to bed? Like there's certain things that you're just like, fuck, I don't want to get up and take my contacts out. Like stuff that's so simple, and you'll just wind up staying up so much later because you refuse to get up and brush your teeth, or you refuse to do that one thing that you're supposed to do before you go to bed.
Right.
And you just like sit there and you fucking stress about it, and you're like, it's so much easier to just get up and fucking. It's a story of my life. It's pretty much everything I fucking do.
Yeah.
Byram, can I tell you an anecdote on that subject? So, when I was living in New Orleans, I came home one night from being out, and I lay down on the couch in the living room, and I was lying there, and I was like, I almost fell asleep, and I was like, oh, it's so comfortable, I think I'm just gonna fall asleep. And I was like, no, I want to get up and brush my teeth. So I got up to brush my teeth, went to bed, and later on that night, somebody came to my house with a machine gun, and I'm not even kidding, shot up my living room, and that couch that I'd been lying on was like cut in half, and there were pieces of it like stuck in the ceiling.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, get up and brush your teeth.
Get up and brush your teeth. You never
Just
know
get up
when
and brush your
assassins
teeth.
are going to
You
come.
never know why.
So Liz, did you just forget your keys or something? Was that your...
Yeah, totally.
You know what this reminds me of? Have you guys heard, this affects all of us because we're all, Boston natives in some way or shape or form. Did you guys hear about the guy, and Liz, this fucking affects you in Brookline.
I know, God, this is scary. This is really scary stuff for me. I usually don't get affected by stories about like things that like break-ins. I'm like, nobody's gonna break into my house. I'm poor. Like I'm never home, whatever. But like, what if some guy came into my house in the night and fucking tickled me?
Hold on, Byron. We need the background on the story.
There's a guy I know for a fact it's affecting the Boston college community, but Liz lives basically within that community, so I'm sure it's affecting the households there too. There's some guy who's breaking into homes at night, and while people are sleeping, he's tickling them. He's not doing anything other than tickling them, and then he leaves, which I find so much more terrifying that I'd be like, can you please just kill me? Because I'm
Me too. I would be like, here's a knife. Fucking stab me. I don't want to be alive anymore. So,
that's fucking terrifying.
I think it's so scary.
That's a good way to get yourself beaten to death. What?
Yeah.
Has nobody overpowered this guy yet?
And why haven't the cops found him? The cops pull me over for having faulty brake lights and they can't find the fucking tickler?
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. You know why? Because the cops pulling you over for faulty brake lights and writing you a ticket makes them money. The cops finding the tickling guy, And
what would they arrest him for? Breaking and entering. But is there any sort of assault involved with tickling? I think there is. That's assault. Tickling is assault.
Actually, in the legal definition, that's actually assault and battery. So assault is actually making someone fear imminent physical harm. So if you do the thing with your fist where you walk up to someone and pretend you're gonna punch them, that's assault because they feel like you're gonna hurt them. Battery is if you actually hit them. So and if you spit on somebody, that's assault and battery.
Wow.
So definitely tickling is unwanted touching or whatever is battery. Hold on, I have to turn on the dehumidifier. I'll be right back.
I just imagine that guy, you hear stories like this and you automatically think of what the guy looks like. And I don't know why I keep picturing fucking John Lovitz.
I picture Martin Short every single time.
Whenever there's a crime, it's
funny that we're both picturing comedy stars from the 90s.
80s, SNL alum.
80s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who would you picture?
You didn't hear what we just said, but Liz. Yeah. You didn't hear our picks, but we were just talking about who we imagine the tickler to look like, because we each had a celebrity pop into our mind. We're interested in hearing who your pick is.
So I think it would be you guys talking about 90s SNL stars made me think of Hans and Franz.
Oh yeah.
Dana Carvey.
Hans and Franz.
Who was the
Dana Carvey? Yes, Dana Carvey and Hans.
Was it Kevin Nealon as the other one?
Yes, it was Kevin Nealon and Dana Carvey.
Yeah, I chose John Lovitz, and Liz nailed it with Martin Short.
I think Martin Short. Martin Short might actually be the.
And Ed Grimley, full.
Yes, exactly.
Poking hair and shit. That's how he's tickling.
But this tickler must be of a large physical stature, because wouldn't somebody just fucking strangle him to death?
Well, I think it's there's a lot of just. But the element of surprise, I think probably he tickles you a little bit before you wake up, and then takes you a while to wake up, and then he just flees. It's not he's not hanging. I don't think he's actually hanging out tickling anybody. I think you wake up to somebody tickling you, and then he runs away.
I think he's small. A tomahawk next to my bed.
I don't think you'll have time to use the tomahawk. I think the tickler is so sneaky that you wouldn't even have time to put the tomahawk in play.
All I'm going to say is criminals today are such pussies. What happened to Jack the Ripper? He would not be talked about today if he was Jack the Tickler. You know what I mean? Get in there and fucking stab some hookers. Do not fucking break in and tickle people.
Stop pussyfooting around and stab some goddamn hookers.
Yeah.
So the tickler starts stabbing people, and when the cops finally get him, they're like, "Why did you decide to like ratchet up the violence?" They're like, "Well, this podcast I really love."
Oh, fuck. We don't promote violence. We are part of the Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah.
Are we? Are we recognized by them? Guys, you know what I want to talk about? Obviously, our intros are always a hat tip to Bob Dylan. Did you guys hear? He was in the news recently because his lyrics for Like a Rolling Stone, he had just jotted them on some pad in the hotel. They just sold for $2 million at auction. Which
wow.
I fucking demand a cut of that, because if there's anyone keeping him relevant today, it's us.
I agree. We're kind of forcing him back into the spotlight, I think.
The initial estimate of the value of the paper was, what the fuck is this shit? And then with our podcast, it skyrocketed to $2 million. So you're welcome, Bob.
The initial value was garbage.
Yeah.
And then podcast came on.
You know what,
people are like, oh, are these the lyrics written by the Coming In Sideway podcast? And they're like, no, you winked. These are lyrics written by Bob Dylan.
And
You've been bamboozled.
And if you look at the actual lyrics, it sucks because there's actual words and there isn't any sounds. Like, you look at the paper and you don't hear any.
Right. Which is, like, it's obviously a fraud because Bob Dylan doesn't speak in words. He just speaks sounds.
Guys, we're gonna really kill it on transitions because I just remembered this from yesterday, and I'm gonna play this. It's a SoundCloud embed. Normally we would send this to Oak to play the sound better, but I'm gonna try doing it with my mic.
No, normally we would not. Normally we would not.
I mean,
that's
ideally,
exactly
sorry.
Normally. Yeah.
So Gizmodo published this thing yesterday, and it's an audio illusion, and it says, after this audio illusion, you'll never trust your ears again. So I'm going to play it for you guys because it is kind of trick-fucky. Let me just pump up the volume, and I'm going to play it now. But this goes into, is a really nice segue from our Bob Dylan segment.
Mm-hmm. So what you'll hear is a sentence, a spoken sentence, that's been transformed by a computer to sound like gibberish. So... What they said?
No.
Okay. We can hear it one more time. Okay, now we'll hear the real sentence.
The Constitution Center is at the next stop.
Does it make sense that time?
Yeah, wait, was that the same?
It was the exact same sentence that you heard the first time.
No way.
It's the exact same sentence. Your brain is always using prior information to make sense of new information coming in. So once you know what the sentence is, when you go back and hear the distorted version, you can apply that information and it makes sense.
I thought that was kind of trippy.
That's really trippy.
That was really weird.
Remember that voices that's making that sound? It sounds like like the aliens trying to explain what's happening right before they anally probe you on their ship.
Oh, I was gonna say that's how the tickler talks. Like, why are you tickling me? It's like,
and then you're like, that was the most romantic shit anyone's ever said to me, and then you kiss.
Exactly.
You know what it also sounds like? You know when you eat too much dry food too fast, and you know your hiccups are coming, and you're trying to swallow them down, and you start talking. Like, that's also what that sounds like.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Guys.
What's on the news today?
Well, I just want to tell stories about my life, if that's acceptable to everyone.
I'm all about that.
So have I told you guys this is going to be a really long story. Have I told you guys last week about the necklace that my mom gave me for my birthday?
Yeah.
I did tell you. Okay, so just as a quick recap, my mom got me a white topaz necklace in order to bring Venus into my life. And it sounds like I'm speaking gibberish, but no, this is just what my mom does. She consulted an astrologist who believes that white topaz will bring Venus into my life sooner. So Venus means I'm going to find love, whatever. So I'm like, this is hootenanny, but I'm going to wear the necklace because I love my mom and because it's actually really pretty. So I didn't think really anything of it. And last Saturday, I actually performed comedy at my friend Dave's birthday party. And I was just going to tell jokes, but it ended up I kind of roasted him because I was doing it with his other friend, and we like kind of mutually roasted him. And I was like standing up on stage saying really, really horrible things about him, basically accusing him of pedophilia and dosing women in order to get them to sleep with him, yada, yada, yada. I was up there for 3 minutes and just took apart his entire character. And so I was like kind of worried that we weren't really going to be friends anymore. I didn't know if I'd gone too far. And as I was leaving the party, he tried to sleep with me. And I didn't understand what that was all about because I basically said the most horrible things I could possibly have said about him. So didn't think much of it. And then last night I did a comedy doubleheader. I did an open mic at 6 o'clock and then another one at 9 o'clock. And this dude was at both of the open mics. I see him all the time. We're friendly. He was like one of my first comedy friends. He was like one of the first people to ever talk to me. He's a really, really nice guy. He's very young. He's extremely high energy. He's like always making jokes, He also happens to weigh about 400 pounds and smell like rotten milk. I hope he never watches this. Really nice guy. Yeah, sorry.
Or your best friends tell you.
Yeah, exactly. But again, really young, just like not necessarily whatever. Anyway, we went. So I saw him at the 6 o'clock one, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this other open mic at 9. And he was like, oh, can I get a ride over there? And I'm like, sure. So we ended up kind of like hanging out together all night long. And after the second open mic, we were all kind of leaving together. I had a friend come, and I went to go get a beer with her and another one of the comedians, and he was like leaving with us, and I didn't really invite him because I like kind of just wanted to chill out. And so... because he smells like cheese a little bit. One of his whole bits is about tit sweat because he has enormous boobs. So we were walking to the bar and we kind of like dropped him off at the T and he was like, okay, bye. And I was like, okay, bye. And so we walked past and we go into the bar. And as we're walking into the bar, he pops up behind us and it's me, my friend, and my other friend. And he just looks at me and he goes, Liz, I've been meaning to ask you this for a really long time. Do you want to go to the movies with me? And I immediately respond, yes, because I couldn't think of, like, I said yes because I couldn't think of, like, it would take me too long to say no, and I really just wanted him to go away. And I thought maybe if I said yes, that would be a good way to just, like, end the whole thing. And so I said yes, and he was like, okay, cool, and he leaves again. And then he comes, we're walking, I had to go to the ATM because it was cash only. And we walked back and we're standing at the ATM, and at this point had been like giggling like fucking asshole bitches, because that's what asshole bitches do. We were like giggling about how this guy asked me out. He comes back. I left again. This is his third time. He goes back after he left again. He goes, I just want to really like follow through with you about like this whole thing and yada yada yada. I'm like, I have very little free time. Message me on Facebook and basically like. He's like, okay, great. I'll just message you on Facebook. And he, like, walks out again and left. And I was, like, really... Yeah.
And then he poked you on Facebook right away?
Well, he hasn't poked me on Facebook yet, but I'm waiting for it, unless he watches this podcast. But I really didn't understand what this was all about, and then all of a sudden I realized it was the white topaz, and it's bringing all these, like, random penises into my house.
I'm going to venture another hypothesis that is different than the white topaz.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that dudes and chicks find themselves hopelessly attracted to people that are fucking assholes to them.
Yeah, it's totally true.
It's true.
It's totally true. I mean, I'm very nice to the guy that asked me out last night. Like, I felt like I let my guard down a little bit because I was like, this is a really fucking asshole thing to say. I was like, there's no way this dude's gonna ask me. Like, he's really young. Like, we're completely different like parts of our life. He weighs 500 pounds, and I just didn't see it coming. I let my guard down. I'm usually a huge asshole to everyone, but I'm actually really nice to him. Except I was making fun of him a lot last night because he's weird. But I don't know. Maybe that was it. It really is the two people.
Oak's hypothesis is actually correct, but Liz, the difference with this guy is he's attracted to you even though you're not a bitch, because virgins are attracted to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I'm just the only one who like ever makes eye contact with him.
Yeah.
And I'm also like the only woman. There's like me and like this only a couple of other women, all the other women are like married or like don't talk to him. And so I think I just am like by default the one he's gonna ask out.
Do you ever
gonna go through with this?
No.
Are you gonna go on the date?
Absolutely. As the saga unfolds of how I evade this guy, I will be sure to keep the podcast posted.
Okay, good.
I think you can get a lot of stand-up material out of this altercation.
Yeah.
Except he'll be at the show, so
I agree.
it's like kind of hurtful.
He's at every show. That's the problem. Show. I'll like have.
You know what? I think and I think you're doing a good job of this. I think when you decide to become a comedian, like, you have to accept that you're gonna say things about people, and it's gonna get back to them, and they're gonna hate you for it. And like that's gonna be part of your life.
Exactly.
Is that there's gonna be some people out there who you mocked publicly, and they will never forgive you.
Yeah.
But like, you can't like walk on eggshells. And like, you know, you try to use your judgment.
Because this is what the jokes are about. Yeah.
This is what life is about. Is about people who are fucked up and hilarious. This is what life is about.
Yeah.
But now that I know that white topaz works, I'm glad I got this white topaz belly button ring. So much ass this summer. Just rocking the belly button ring.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had a friend at work who was convinced that my white topaz was actually kryptonite for her, and she made me not wear it. But it's not kryptonite for me because I'm pulling mad mantail, which I
mad
think
tail.
Mad mantail with it. Yeah.
Guys, speaking of saying stuff that's super offensive to other people, I know you guys will appreciate this, but did you guys hear Gary Oldman? He just went on a rant the other day where he was really passionate about like defending Mel Gibson's past like anti-Semitic rant. He got into a lot with he's probably promoting something because I also saw that he was going to be on Jimmy Kimmel's show last night, but he basically years after Mel Gibson like notoriously spewed hate about Jews and how they run Hollywood and stuff. And then more recently, Alec Baldwin went on a rant where he called he called a photographer by like a slur against gay people, which we can't say on the show.
Nor would we want to.
Yeah. So we are eating Chick-fil-A for breakfast today. So
well, yeah.
There's that. They're a fucking sponsor of the show.
Right.
So he went ahead and like just like completely defended them, and he was like, look, like, some people say things, and he just was like very out and open, like, you know, I support them, you know, and I defend their right to free speech, and, you know, they're allowed to say whatever they want. And then today he recanted on a lot of it, and he apologized to the Anti-Defamation League.
Well, because, yeah, his fucking publicist, like, bad move, dude. Also, Gary Oldman, who are you?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, you can't say really anything because you'll just, you know, people will, especially if you make your living by like appealing to like motion picture studios or like television channels or like, you know what I mean? Because, you know, whoever dislikes what you have to say will organize some kind of boycott, and they'll just make sure that you never work again. Yeah. So you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want as long as it conforms to like whatever the prevailing politically correct stance is. I mean, I think unfortunately that happens even to like comedians.
Right.
You know, where they try to get people to like apologize for jokes.
Right. Like the Joan Rivers thing. People are constantly trying to get Joan Rivers to apologize for fat shaming Lena Dunham. And I think it's the silliest thing ever. And
the thing about it is, they don't actually care. The people who are complaining, they don't really give a fuck at all. Yeah. They just want to get somebody. They just want to be like, they want to be a hero. They want to be like on the right side of the issue, and they want to be, you know, whatever. But really, they're just being fucking cunts, and they're just trying to shit on somebody else's career, and they don't have to deal with the consequences of the shitstorm that they unleash. But somebody else who's out there trying to make a living as a performer actually fucking does have to deal with it. I don't know. That annoys the shit when people do that. You know what? It's a fucking joke. Why don't you just let people have whatever opinions they want, even if you don't like them?
Yeah, because how does their opinion of a minority group affect their performance in any fucking way? Like, yeah, I guess. Okay. I just don't understand why if Mel Gibson is a bad person, does that mean he makes bad movies?
And you know
What Women Want is a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now in the background.
Dude, Braveheart is like the best movie ever.
It's not as good as What Women Want. It is not as good as What Women Want. The subtle angst that Helen Hunt brings to her character in that movie is just fucking penetrable.
I mean, who among us has not watched Braveheart and immediately painted our face with women's lipstick and run around swinging a broom as if it were a broadsword?
Right, because at one point Oak dated a girl that wore blue lipstick, apparently.
And now she's giving birth to their daughter next week. So.
Who will be named Braveheart.
The only
pushing for Braveheart.
Yeah.
The only thing I think of when I'm watching Braveheart is how gross sex must be at that time.
I agree.
Oh yeah, they smell so bad.
Yeah, and that's all I can ever. Because like I was actually talking to a coworker about this, a former coworker, and I was like, you ever sit in on meetings where you're just like, you're not even attracted to the people in the meeting, but you imagine like what sex would be like with them or what their private parts look like, and you're just like, your mind just fucking trips into this K-hole, and you just like start thinking something like, I'm not attracted to you, but I imagine that you're gross, and you know what I mean? Like you just start, you can't help it, you know?
I'm so glad I'm not a man because I don't have to have thoughts like that.
Liz, like you've never sat in a room and thought like, God, I wonder what it'd be like to sleep with that person, even
if they're gross.
No, but it's like equivalent to standing on a train platform and being like, I wonder what would happen if I fell onto these tracks. Like you wouldn't purposely do it, but you still like kind of like put yourself in that horrible situation to see how you would, you know, react.
I definitely do it with jumping on the train tracks. I don't do it with fucking gross guys. I'm able to draw the line there.
Oh, I do it with homeless people. I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to just like curl up next to them.
There's like no. I find there's like not really any boundaries to like where that kind of K-hole can go once you get like once your mind decides I'm gonna run down like the most horrible track possible right now. Yeah. There's just no, like you're in a job interview and you're looking across the desk and you're like, what would happen if I leaned over this desk and put my tongue in this dude's ear? Like, then you're like, well, then he'd probably like punch me and then like call the police, and you start thinking about like what the chain of events would be, or like, what if I just like took my I kind of have to take a shit. What if I took my pants down and just took a shit? And while I locked eyes with this guy and I pinched one off like right in the middle of the floor. Like, what would happen? And you can't stop thinking, or like, you know, when you're like holding like a piece of expensive like electronic equipment or a baby like on a bridge, and you're like, what if I just hurled this off into the empty void? And once you start thinking of it, you're like, oh my God, why am I thinking about this? I can't stop thinking about this.
I must be a psychopath.
Somebody,
I can't stop thinking about this.
They know what I'm thinking. Like, people know.
But it makes you wonder about the people who actually fucking do it. Like, is there just like one layer of fucking judgment that's missing from their minds that like prohibits them from doing that? Like,
yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Because oftentimes, don't you feel like you're sort of close? Like you feel like I might get mixed up and forget. Like I'm thinking so hard about not doing this thing that I'm thinking of that what if I get it flipped and then I'm like, I have to do it. No, wait, no, don't do it. No, wait, what was I gonna do again?
You almost assume the stance of doing it. Like your body starts to like shift as if you were gonna do whatever you're thinking about doing. Like not actually, like you don't maybe physically manifest it, but like you can almost feel like your body like ready to move forward or something. Like I've definitely tripped like that before.
The train platform is a good one. I get that one too. Like,
and then you always see, I mean, I guess I've only seen this on television, but can you imagine how you feel directly after having done the thing that like you were trying so hard not to do? And you're like, why did I do that? Like, why did that seem like a good idea at the time? And you watch people like trying to defend the choices that they made. But at the time, it seemed like the only thing you could. This a lot when I'm driving. Like I'll get road rage. I'm like, what if I just smash through the back of the car in front of me? It would be so easy to do. I just have to put my foot on the gas. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like people who drive through crowds of pedestrians, I always fucking want to do that. Like I think about doing that. Seriously, think about doing that.
And yet you never hear anyone. You never hear anyone say like, I don't know. I was trying not to do it, and then I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know, like, because it seems so, like, after the fact, you're like, how could I not control my brain? How could I not have controlled my brain to prevent myself from doing this?
No, but I think when people do something and maybe there is no remorse because they've gone through it in their head and they've justified it. There's like, you see all these people all the time who find a way to rationalize what they did, and that's probably part of being a sociopath. Like you realize that you didn't have control, but then also you start to like. I'm kind of sociopathic. Like I make the same mistakes over and over, and I know how bad they are.
That's not sociopathic, Bizzle. Sociopathic is not thinking you did anything wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I'll know something's wrong, right?
So you're not a sociopath.
No, but then I'll know something's wrong, and then I'll do it, and then I won't have any remorse afterward, and then I'll keep doing it, and then like later on I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't do that, and then I do it, and then I'm like, why the fuck did I do that?
But like, what's that, like eating bagels as opposed to like fucking killing people with a sword?
It's like everything. It's I don't know. I'm a fucking mess.
I think rationalization is that's what humans do in order to not fucking kill themselves. I think that's a very natural defense mechanism. I do it all the time. I'm like, oh my god, why did I do that? Okay, I did it because this, I did it because this. Okay, now I feel a little bit better. I'm not that big of an asshole. I can get out of bed now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a misogynistic thing right now, which is that it's also a thing that women do a lot.
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and then I'm going to go backwards in time and make up a reason for it. But really, I'm just going to do what I want to do right now. And then we'll talk about why I did it later.
And I endorse that because with these breasts, I have a lot of estrogen. So I'm going to double endorse that.
But so how do men deal with the fucked up shit that they do? They just accept that they did a fucked up thing?
Yeah, I don't think... I think men are a little bit more... They either... It depends on who they're talking to, themselves or like someone that they... You know what I mean? I think men either lie about why they did something.
Yeah.
Or they'll be realistic about why they did it. That like they'll think through their like reasons more pragmatically. And a lot of that's because like the way men analyze things is more like more cause and effect relationships and more like trying to puzzle out like the real like ins and outs of it. And like women are a lot more about like how they feel about something.
I don't know if I would necessarily give you guys trying to really puzzle out the ins and outs of it. I think like definitely cause and effect, but I think it's a lot like more black and white. Whereas I think I think women will think a little bit deeper into like why things happen.
Right, and I think that depth of why things happen is more of like the emotional side of why it happened.
Right, exactly.
So there's a lot more vagary when you talk about like, well, I felt this way and it caused me to do this thing, which then I have this feeling, and this is the way I feel about the whole thing.
And it's open to really broad interpretation and a lot of fucking made up shit.
Right, where dudes I think have a little more of a like direct path from like from one cause to another effect.
Yeah, exactly. Bizzle, are you asleep?
No, I did get super tired for a second. yesterday I had like I do triple shots of espresso at Starbucks. It's called a Tripito.
Whoa.
I do them
That's
iced.
a real Italian word, by the way.
So Italian.
Such a real Italian word.
Add a P-I-O to the end of any word, then
yeah.
It's Italian.
So I had that, and then when I went out later, I got another one, but it was at another place. It was at this place, Birch Coffee, which I started in Brooklyn. And the girl goes, you know, like our single shots are as strong as a double shots. If you get a triple shot, it'd be like a 6 shot. And I'm like, fuck. All right, I'll take it. And then I did an iced Americano later in the day, so that was a lot of caffeine. And last night, I like thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I never like had over caffeinated myself, but last night I just felt like, what the like, and it hit me hours later. And then like this morning, I've just been kind of like more sluggish. And then it's fucking gross outside too. It literally feels like I have egg salad in my pants when I'm fucking walking. So it is.
Byram, have you cornstarched?
No.
Yeah, did you try the cornstarch?
I'm gonna.
I feel like you're too chicken. You think I'm trying to fool you, but I'm not.
No, You are the most resourceful person I know. Like, I know that whatever you do, I just don't trust myself because I'll wind up doing something and then, like, I'll have fucking General Tso's chicken on my ass. Like, don't they use cornstarch for Chinese food? Like, I just feel like I will fuck this up and blow bubble. I'll fart and, like, a giant plastic bubble will come out of my pants.
I'm telling you, you can't fuck it up. All you got to do is just get a big handful right up there in the taint and just get it everywhere.
All right, I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll do it live on our next podcast.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yes, that is what people want to see.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see.
I'm the fucking Katie Couric of podcasting. She got a fucking colonoscopy on air. I'm going to fucking get all up in my taint with some...
Bring back the magic.
Watch me fuck up and come back with, like, Ajax. I'm like, this is burning! But I will have this.
Hey, whatever works, dude. Whatever works.
I will have the smoothest team on this podcast, though. So there's that.
Hey, you will, buddy.
Bizzle, that's a lot of coffee.
I know.
How many shots
of
coffee? That's like 10 shots of espresso in one day.
Yeah, it was definitely. But the thing is, and you guys will appreciate this, I gave up on soda. So I used to drink like 6 cans of Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi a day, and I don't drink any anymore. So now I'm just drinking water with all my meals, except for vodka. But vodka is basically water. And when it comes to like caffeinating myself, I've stuck to iced coffees. And I'm not a big fan of weak coffee. Like, I like the stronger coffee, the better. So when I go to any kind of coffee shop, I'll usually get a couple of shots of espresso over ice instead of an iced coffee. And they always look at me like I'm some fucking, like, vigilante. Like, they're always like, are you just going to go make a latte because lattes are more expensive? Are you just going to go make a latte at the milk station? And I'm like, no, I literally don't fucking put milk in my drink. I don't put milk or sugar. You guys are saving money on that. Like, all I want is really strong coffee over ice. And sometimes people are, like, watching to make sure I don't go make myself a fucking latte.
What's the problem with you going to make yourself a latte?
Because they can charge you. They can charge you for more at the register if you get a latte. So they think that because lattes cost more money. Like, if I was to get a latte the size that I normally drink, if I get a grande latte, it's going to be probably like closer to at Starbucks. When I get a triple shot of espresso over ice in a grande cup, it comes out to $2.89. So they think like, oh, people can save $1, because they have free milk there, you know.
Once you order your beverage and they deliver it to you, you guys have completed both of your contractual obligations. You are now free to do whatever you want with the product that you've purchased.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's fucking retarded. Those people should be ashamed of themselves.
And that is the worst of their problems, because I leave usually with 75 straws and a giant... Liz, do you remember when we worked together? I used to go to Starbucks and literally come back with stacks of napkins.
Yes.
Sometimes I wouldn't even buy anything. I'd be like, can I have a bag at the register? And they'd be like, yeah. And I would walk over and just take stacks of their napkins.
Yeah. When I go to the bar and cranberry juice and then pour vodka in it from out of my purse, I'm like, sir, you can't say anything because it's contractual. We're done. I've paid you my money. You can't say shit to me.
So I had a boss once who used to drink. Every day with lunch, he would bring these Oranginas, and he would have a straw, but the straw was too short to reach out of the Orangina bottle, so it would always fall in the Orangina bottle, and I'd see him there, just like trying to fish this fucking straw out of the Orangina bottle. I was like, this is so stupid. Like, this problem should be solved. Like, I can't watch this guy fumbling with this fucking Orangina bottle every day. So one day, when I had that job, I hated it so much that I would always take the entire hour of my lunch break, and I would go like sit at a coffee shop or just somewhere to get out of there. And one day, I came back with like a small handful of the large Starbucks straws for him to put in his Orangina bottle. I was like, here, use these straws. Then they won't fall in the Orangina bottle. See, you still can solve the problem so easy. So he really loved the straws, but he ran out. And he came to me, and he's like, Oakley, can you get me some more of those straws? I was like,
you're like, what?
I was like, okay. So I went, and the next time I was at Starbucks, I got a handful of straws. And this went on for some time, where he ran out. He would ask me to get him more straws, and I was like, my boss is like instructing me to steal straws from Starbucks. So I was like looking online, like, can I buy these in bulk somewhere? Like, so I don't have to do this fucking commando mission where I run into Starbucks, grab a handful of straws, and run out. But for months.
Also, like, why can't he
I
get
would
his
do
own
this.
fucking Starbucks straws?
I'm imagining you rappelling from the ceiling at Starbucks, grabbing straws and shooting back up to fucking.
But it got so uncomfortable, and eventually, I had to be like, no, Arnold, I'm not gonna get these straws anymore. Like, I don't like this. Like,
Yeah.
It was at first it was like a nice gesture, but like, dude, I've done this like 10 or 12 times for you now, and like, it's super weird. And eventually, I'm gonna get fucking captured because they're getting wise to me,
Right.
and they're starting to keep the straws behind the counter.
I can picture him like cornering you in the little break room, and he's like tweaking and scratching his neck, and he's like, and he has this unopened Orangina, and he's like, oh, I need a fucking straw, bro. You're like, dude, I'm not gonna enable you anymore. You're gonna have to fucking get them on your own.
It was very.
And he starts to like blackmail you and be like, no, I don't know if this is really working out here unless you get me those straws. We're not going to be able to employ you at this place anymore.
You know,
that's why I got fired from that place. Holy shit.
Yeah, because you stopped getting him the straws.
It wasn't because I hated my job and sucked at it and passive aggressive my way into getting fired. It was because of the straws.
Also, you know who else drinks Orangina out of a fucking Capri Sun straw? The Tickler. I think we just fucking solved this. It's your boss was Martin Short.
Yeah, your boss is Martin Short. The Tickler.
Holy shit.
This all came together so easily.
You need to put together a PowerPoint presentation of the evidence stat.
Yeah. We'll contact the Brookline Police Department. They're way too busy pulling me over.
You know why? Because that pays.
Yeah.
But Liz,
last night,
you should be happy that the Brookline Police Department's all up on your shit, because now when
it's the white topaz.
Yeah, now that when this Melissa McCarthy-looking dude tries stalking you at your house, at least you have fucking 24-hour surveillance.
Like, I don't even know what movie we'll possibly see. I don't think that he fits into normal chairs.
Go see Tammy. Tammy.
But like,
where is
he gonna sit?
They have those seats, the sections in the back for wheelchairs. So just be like, all right, babe. Be like, all right, babe. You sit in here. I'm gonna go sit in nosebleed seats.
Yeah, I'll go get us popcorn and leave.
You know what this just reminded me of, though? So I am a big fan of drinking during movies. So 2 Fridays ago, I went with one of my friends, and we'll usually get like nips or something. Sometimes, like if I can't find good nips, like I'll just get like a 1 liter bottle of something. And I really like Tito's vodka these days. So we were planning to go see The Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise movie, which is actually really good.
It's good. Yeah, go see it.
Really good.
Get more on this later.
So I went and bought a 1 liter bottle at my office of those, and then when I went to this movie theater in Union Square, it's the type of movie theater where you purchase all the tickets downstairs, but all of the screens are upstairs. So before you get on the escalator to go upstairs, that's where they take your ticket. But they also have people there to check your bags, which was fucking stressful because I had a bag with vodka in it. And there's this like little Asian lady, and she's like, "Open your bag," and I'm like, "Why?" And she goes, "No outside food or drink." And I was like, I opened up my bag, and I literally, all you saw was like obviously a liquor store bottle. I had a liquor store bag with a bottle in it. And I was like, "It's just my laptop." And she goes, "Okay." And I was like, "Whoa, how the fuck did that work?"
Dodge that bullet.
Yeah. So I went upstairs with my friend. We drank half the bottle we mixed it into Diet Coke. And we drank half a bottle watching Edge of Tomorrow, and then I saw my fucking clone, Jonah Hill, in 22 Jump Street, and proceeded to get drunk. But that's my favorite thing to do, to sneak drinks into movie theaters.
See, I don't understand why, if they don't serve booze at the movie theater, they should allow people to bring their booze in.
Yep.
I mean, outside candy I can understand because they want you to buy the candy that they have there, but you should be able to bring in something that they don't provide.
Yeah.
Like sandwiches and like macaroni and cheese, Chinese food, Indian food, all of those things that smell really good. You should be able to bring all that shit into the movie theater with impunity.
I think you need to take a stand, man. And I think you need to start bringing Indian food.
I'm like, I am going to bring this buffet dish of colored grits into this movie theater, and you cannot stop me. And I will be consuming this margarita
and people are going to be like, "Is that Ethiopian food?" And you'd be like, "It's none of your business."
Yeah, it's not.
Like, how dare you tell me I can't make s'mores during this fucking movie? I will fucking make s'mores right now.
With a big
do you guys sell meat patties here? No, you don't sell meat patties here, so I'm bringing them in. Bringing them in.
If you can bring your fucking shitty baby to cry during a movie, I can bring my fucking Orville Redenbacher popper and fucking make fresh popcorn in my seat.
Yeah. So I like to watch jambalaya alongside action movies. I think I should be able to eat my jambalaya as much as I want.
Liz, this is a great bit for your next stand-up set. I think you should go with it. Yeah. Speaking of shitty movies inciting a rebellion, the North Korean government says the new Seth and James Franco movie is a blatant act of war. So Seth Rogen and James Franco are promoting this movie called The Interview, and it's about two entertainment reporters who were recruited by the CIA to assassinate Liz's fucking wet dream, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un.
Damn, he's sexy. Damn, he's sexy.
He really is. That haircut is the bouffant haircut. Yeah. It's a little
well, you know,
a lot of sex.
Wearing that topaz, you're bound to be kidnapped by him.
I know. But I should go to North Korea. That would have it all locked up.
Just go to South Korea and do a set of stand-up comedy. He has like agents that kidnap performers in South Korea all the time.
Oh my God, this is the answer to all my problems.
You ever notice how all foreign dictators and stuff all were like obsessed with Whitney Houston? And now she's dead, so Liz, I think you can resume your stake in the game.
Yeah, they have to find a new person to smoke crack off their dicks. And I am that entertainer.
I think I speak for the entire world when I say, Kim, fucking kill Seth Rogen. We will not miss him. You'll be doing us a huge favor.
I'm saying you can't buy publicity like that.
No.
You can't. You can't even pay for it. That's like fucking. They must be loving it. That's so fucking great for them.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty classic James Franco too.
Well, Seth Rogen went on to tweet. So the actual statement from Kim Jong-un and his people said, the movie is the most blatant act of terrorism and an act of war that we will never tolerate. And Seth Rogen took to Twitter, of course, and he tweeted, "People don't usually want to kill me for one of my movies until after they've paid $12 for it." And then later on tweeted, "Apparently Kim Jong-un plans on watching The Interview. I hope he likes it." And it's just like, someone just fucking kill him. I'm sure the movie's going to suck. And just, it's going to get all this publicity because of this, but it's not fucking worth it.
What if that's why North Korea, like, what resources North Korea have? Nuclear weapons? What if they drop a nuke on us because of Seth Rogen?
Holy shit.
That would be a really fun, like, imagine, like, in history class in, like, 50 years, you're, like, little America's taking her history class. And it's like, well, yeah, America went to war because of a Seth Rogen movie. It'd be a really silly reason to go to war.
Well, right. Although a war with North Korea would last like all
1 day.
Seconds.
Yeah.
They basically, like, I've heard historians and like military analysts compare them to like Iraq before the first Iraq War, only with older equipment and way less experience.
Yeah.
So like the army's about the same size and like with about the same capabilities, but they don't know what they're doing, and their shit is from like the 50s.
But like, what if it was like the thing that tipped China and Russia to like banding together and defending North Korea against us, and it became like a huge world war because of this movie?
Yeah, then little America might be studying that someday.
Little America might be studying that with her wearing her gas mask.
Yeah, hopefully she's not learning it in Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. It's paying for shit in rubles. Oh, America.
Guys, do you have picks of the week this week?
Yeah, I think we got some picks.
Yeah, I got a pick.
All right, let's hit the jam.
So I will begin.
There. Pick of the week music.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I forget. Hold on. All right, this one, right?
Yeah.
It's our pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Oak likes fishing.
A pick of the week is Bizzle's taint covered in cornmeal. That was just cornmeal?
Not cornmeal. Not cornmeal. Cornstarch. Not cornmeal.
It has been when I've slipped cornbread into movie theaters, though.
Not flour. Not Ajax.
Grits. Cheese grits? Cheese grits.
Cheese grits.
All right, I go first.
Okay.
My pick this week is Google I/O. It's Google's developer conference. I actually got to go last year. It was super fun, huge nerd fest. But they put everything on YouTube. All the sessions and talks are live streamed. No matter what your like level interest in technology is, like you can probably find some sessions and some things that you'll be interested in, and it's just like a huge wealth of like brilliant people talking about interesting stuff. So cool. Check out all the live streaming of Google I/O. The keynote was yesterday. There should be some sessions up now. There'll be more sessions streaming today. So that's my pick. Also, my pick of the week is USA over Germany. Fuck Germany.
Oh, yeah, fuck Germany.
Go State.
Also, if we conspire to have a 0-0 draw with them, we both advance to the next round. So, just saying. That's cool, too.
Wow. Conspiring with Germany? That shit has never happened before, ever.
Right, except Italy.
Yeah, exactly. So, good pick, Hall. I'm probably going to watch all those YouTube videos.
Right.
So my pick of the week is, so I took a stand-up comedy class, but it's kind of weird because nobody's like telling you how to do stand-up comedy. You just like kind of go and do it and tell jokes. There's like no like discussion of technique or anything. And so another comedian actually sent me a link to this guy who kind of teaches an online class, but it's totally free, and it's just like on Tumblr, and it's called John Roy Comic, and he has like weeks and weeks of this class. I've only done a couple weeks, but it's proven helpful so far to like kind of help me refine my technique and like learn how to write jokes and like learn what my voice is. And so John Roy Comic does sort of an online comedy class for anybody who's interested in doing comedy. Yeah.
Liz, you're gonna tweet that link out to our follower.
Yeah, to our follower.
My pick of the week is something that I'm thinking of right now. Oh, tonight I am going to a Broadway show. The only Broadway shows I've ever seen are. Did I see Cats?
Obviously.
I love the Cats commercial though. What was the show that? Oh, I saw Phantom of the Opera that I fucking fell asleep in. And then I saw The Iceman Cometh, where I cannot believe this is true, but I sat next to Liza Minnelli.
What?
Yeah, it was very weird. And Tony Danza, I think, and was it Tony Danza? Tony Danza, and I think Kevin Spacey were in the cast. I had no idea what I was. I think I was just fucking choking on Liza Minnelli's perfume and vodka.
Right.
So I'm not really a big fan of Broadway. Like I don't like. I actually saw Rent, but that was on a school trip, and I'm surprised because I went to Catholic school. They shouldn't have sent us. So keeping on my stellar track record of going to see Broadway shows, I'm going to see Hedwig and the Angry Inch tonight.
Ooh, I really want to see that.
I've never seen the movie.
Hauser, right?
Yeah, it got a lot of. It's supposed to be like a really fun, like rock type of performance. So
yeah.
He's gotten a lot of praise for it. So I'm going to go see that tonight. And I'll give you guys a full report next Thursday when we come to you live.
Yep.
And that's it.
Unless a baby has dropped on Oak's head, and then we'll have to figure something else out.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
Next week, next Thursday is the day before her due date, right?
Yeah.
She's due July 4th.
Oh my God, America's baby. America's baby.
You better hope that Amy's OBGYN is not Bob Dylan, because you're not going to know what would happen. He's just be like,
sure.
Baby's going to get delivered, be like, the best,
and you'll be like, all right, I guess we'll figure it out when we get home.
Yeah.
Just like it's going to be anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love you guys.
All right, good show, guys.
See you next week.
I will see you back here next week.
Ooh.